Hey everyone, Coder Rob here, and today I'm going to show you a very advanced building technique on EverQuest Next Landmark. What I'm going to show you is how to build a tower like the one behind me with spiral staircase that goes up to the very top. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough to remind people, if you haven't seen the first video, I promised this on the first video and people have been asking where is it. So here's the base of the stairs, here's a exit out to the rampart, but the stairs keep going on up. And then there'll be another exit here out to the roof. And then they just keeps going up to the top of the tower. So I'm going to make this easy for you because I'm going to show you how to build only one 90-degree section of this tower. And we're going to use that in order to build the whole complete thing. And you can make it as tall as you want when you're done. It's very simple. I believe in working smarter, not harder, and that's what I'm going to show you today. Okay everyone, to begin with, I've put down a couple props that we're going to use. The first one is a sphere done in the largest size possible. The other one is a column that I've already shown how to build in an earlier video. If you haven't seen that one and you don't know how to do a column, you'll need to know how to do that for this video. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to select on the sphere from the equator on up. And the only thing the sphere is here for is for us to build on top of. It's going to give me a foundation and also a guide for where the wall should be for the tower. So I'm going to just select this part here. Okay, I skipped ahead. I got the hole from the equator up to the top selected for the sphere. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And it's being stubborn. There we go. Oh, I didn't get the top of it. There we go. So now I have half of a sphere. And I'm going to jump up here and I'm going to find the center of the sphere. And probably the easiest way is just use the selection tool, because it puts this arrow here. I can see where that red arrow is. That's the center. I'm going to put a couple of squares down just to mark the center. I'm going to do the same thing going the other direction to make sure I have it in the exact center. So now I know the very center is right here, and that's where our column's going to go. The column is going to be used for the stairs to wrap around. Alright, I don't need but the very top few rows of that column, which I've already highlighted. You see I'm doing 3 high. I'm going to go ahead and give that a cut, just so you can see what I took off. And we're going to paste it right where that square is in the center. And to be sure I'm right in the center, I'm going to move this down so I can see very clearly that I'm right in the center there. And I'm going to go ahead and paste that. And again, that's going to be where our stairs wrap around. Now this is the only real tricky part in this. And this does take a little finesse to try to figure out where you want your squares to go. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the add tool with a single vox. And I'm going to build up one row of wall around this circumference. So I can see that there are probably 4 across here. So I'm going to add those now. Actually, I didn't like that. I think I went one too far over. Looks like it starts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the same thing over here around the edge. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is a judgment call. See how it kind of comes in a little bit? So I'm going to come into try it one more time. 2. Do 2 over here. Then I'm going to do 2 more, coming into, and then it looks to me to be just 90 degrees across. So I'm going to just close this off there. And now that I have that, I'm going to copy that and reproduce it the rest of the way around. So I'm just doing one row high, just the area I got. Do a copy. I'm going to paste it. Now to begin with, I'm going to line up exactly where the other one is so I know I'm at the right height. Then I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. Then I'm going to use my arrow to move it over till it lines up. Then I'm going to rotate it 90 again. Use my arrow, line this one up. And one more time. Alright, so that's going to be the outer wall. So this is going to be the area where the steps are, all the way up to the top. Now I built this on a sphere only so I have a layout. When we're finished, we're going to cut all that away, and this is going to rest on the bottom, on the ground. Alright, so now that I have that, I need to make my wall higher. So I'm going to select this whole first row again. I'm going to go all the way across from end to end. Trust me, I know the only thing more frustrating than not being able to grab the corner when you're trying to do the selection tool is probably watching me not be able to grab the corner. You're like, will you hurry up? Okay, so I have that. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it right back where this is. Now, I always put it in the exact same location to make sure I have it first. So right there, it's lined up perfectly. Now I raise it up one, paste, raise it up another, paste. I'm going to do this about 8 times. And that one didn't line up. Undo. Alright, that should do for us. So this is the trick. We're going to only do steps for 1/4 of a turn. So we're going to go from 90 degrees. We're going to go from this corner right here up to just before that corner. So we're going to end right here. And the reason we're going to do that is then we could copy this section and paste it on top of this section and rotate it 90 degrees. And this first step down here will line up perfectly with the top of this step. Alright, so let's get started. And before anyone asks if I've seen that video where somebody did spiral stairs using the line tool, I did. Wasn't for me. I like my staircase tight, and that seemed to, you needed a wider staircase. I want a very tight staircase that wraps in a very small confined area here. And so for me, really the best thing to do is lay down one box at a time. You can try to do the selection tool, but in a tight area like this, it can be very hard to use. I end up fighting it more in this small confined area. And because I'm only doing 1/4 of the staircase, it's not going to take me long to do it this way. So what I'm doing is each step is one box higher than the previous step. I'm just going around and adding the steps in now. And I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm going to skip ahead. Alright, so skipping ahead a little bit, what I've done is I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. The 6th step, because we're getting into this angle here, I went ahead and built into a 45 degree here, as you see. So this is more like a landing platform. The next step is also going to be at 45 degrees, so I'm now going to come up one on the wall. I know I'd rather it didn't have this jagged line here, but honestly, when people are using the steps, they work very well. People aren't going to think about it too much. If you want, you can do another one at that angle, or you can continue this flat over. Alright, so I have all the steps in place. So what I ended up doing was the step right here is at a 45, and what you can't do is you can't go up to this corner right here. Because we started at this corner here, it's important that none of your steps go past this edge right here. So as you see, I have one row too high above the steps. I'm going to remove any rows of wall that's above the steps. Alright, we're getting close to being done. I removed the wall section that was standing above the step. You don't want any wall above this topmost step. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to paste this on the ground. If you remember, this is all built on top of a half sphere. So the very top row of the sphere is actually the bottom of the tower. So I want to select from the very top row on up. Okay, so I finished making that selection. I'm going to do a Control C. Alright, so I come over here to the blank ground and I'm going to do a Control V, and I'm going to now paste the base we already created right there on the ground. So really we only just took it off the sphere and moved it over here. Okay, so I'm going to reselect everything except for the flooring. I don't want the flooring that the tower is sitting on, because as you're walking up the steps you can't walk through flooring. So I'm going to do a Control C and copy that. Then I'm going to come and stand on the very topmost step here. I seem to have the best luck when I do that. If you stand right here, you're going to be pasting material here, and I've had it do some weird things. So I just, standing here seems to have the best luck. I'm now going to do a Control V, and I'm going to line it up where the original object is, so I'm sure it's lined up. And I'm going to lift it up until it's just touching the top of it. And once I have it there, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees so that the bottom step on the top one we're getting ready to paste lines up with the top step of the one that's already there. That's what I thought. It moved on me. Try and line it up again. This is the trickiest part, is keeping everything lined up. Alright, there we go. Raise it back up and paste. And so now we have 180 degrees of stairs done. I can paste again. Like before, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees from where it is now. Come up to this step, paste again. Alright, I didn't get that one lined up right. I'm going to undo. Try it one more time here. There we go. So now we have stairs going 360 degrees up. Now if you wanted to, depending on how tall you want your tower to be, you can copy that whole thing and paste that whole thing on top, and then you will be doing a whole 360 degrees with each paste, and you can build your tower up very fast. So the only thing we're missing here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to grappling hook back into it, as we have no way to get into it. So I'm going to figure out where I want the door. I'm going to just put a door here. So that we now have a way to walk into our tower, and there are our steps. So hopefully this was helpful for you, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.